I think we have come to the point where the flood has spread so widely and so dangerously that the government must declare a state of emergency to mobilize all the forces, all the resources, and streamline the operation so that they get the priorities right. Because at the moment, each minister seems to be taking care of their own provinces.
Yes, and there's some politics getting into play as well.
Right, because it's the north, the northeast, or the south, the central plains, and you get political parties taking care of their own constituencies. And that's not going to work because the flood water does not have a political affiliation.
They might have the luxury of thinking about politics 2 weeks ago when the situation was not this bad, but today I think we have to do something about it.
Well, I think there's a law, the so-called state of emergency law, that covers all emergencies in the country.
Yes, the same one that Kun Apisit invoked during the protest of the red shirt. The government of Kun Yingluck can just enforce the law to help with the situation.
Well, I've seen China, I've seen the United States declaring emergencies for this particular sort of thing, that is natural disasters. In America, they have the so-called FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, which comes under the Home Security Office, which is empowered to mobilize resources, be they military, civilians, private sector, volunteers, to come together and come under one direction so that they know where the worst case is and they go there right immediately, not to spread out the resources too thin, and in the end, nobody knows what is happening.
It seems that everyone is doing the rearguard battle at the moment.
Right.
The Interior Ministry, even the military are not singing the same song at the moment.
Yeah.
And also the Kun Yingluck doesn't seem to have a real right-hand person when it comes to this situation.
I don't think so. I don't think she has assigned anyone in the cabinet to really direct the operations.
We understood that initially it was supposed to be Kun Yongyut Vichaydit, the Interior Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister, but then it appeared that the responsibility was shifted to Kun Prapasop.
Well, Kun Prapasop said this morning that 2 o'clock in the morning,
they had a big
meeting.
A meeting about 4 senior cabinet members.
Yeah, and then they decided not to save the main highway.
The transport, the Asia highway, in order to save the industrial estate.
Well, that may be a right decision. We don't know, but it did not have the kind of a system that you can rely on.
Right.
You don't have the private sector to go in and give advice on whether all these factories, should be safe and how and what kind of damage is expected. Then you have the old World Heritage. Even UNESCO today had to say, hey, we are ready to help, which is very strange for UNESCO to say that if you need help, tell us.
And not only that, we also have the issue of relief to the affected people. We've heard that only 20% of the affected people have received assistance at the moment from now. So apart from saving the big picture, there's people who are really suffering at the moment also.
We see on TV the government coming out and say, please help, and then donate money. That's not going to work, because I heard a few governors on radio being interviewed in the past few days. One governor said outright, please do not send any more rice.
They cannot get the rice
because in the flooded situation, you cannot cook rice.
Right.
And don't send the instant noodle because they cannot eat. There's no warm water for them. Please send ready-made food. Please send water. Please send things that they can just consume outright.
Yes.
But most people, when they say, let's go and help the flood victims, they don't know what to give. So they give
instant noodles. That's the most popular item.
That's right.
Which is now different than the last time. The last time people can still cook their noodle, but now they don't have the clean water.
And even if you have all the materials for assistance, how do you transport them to get to the right place? Especially those who need help the most are those who are far away from the main
which
areas.
is a very effective
So you need the
mobilization system.
you need the military
Yes.
to have all the helicopters, all the boats, all the personnel, and knowing exactly where, because they have all the military barracks and police stations all around the country.
Right.
They are the one who should be able to help with the logistics, but they are not being used because.
Well, Kun Yingluck yesterday, she seemed to be very reluctant with this kind of idea because she was saying that she was concerned about the image of Thailand. if she declares some sort of natural disaster and emergency and mobilize the army to take charge of the situation, she seemed to be afraid of.
I don't know why you have to be afraid of the foreign investors' mood or opinion, because if you do not manage a crisis properly, that is even worse in the eyes of the foreign investors. They want to know how are you going to handle natural disasters. This is not because the government is bad. This disaster was a natural thing. And it now reflects on how the government can react promptly, effectively, in a coordinated way. And that is what we are lacking. So we badly need a state of emergency declaration, a system, a coordination center, and a real sense of urgency.